Good morning. Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
What?
I can hear you, but
I
apparently you
can't
can't hear
see.
me.
There you go. Can you hear? Can you see me? Hear me?
I can see you, I can hear you, but you can't see me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. Oh, are we okay? I mean, generally speaking, mentally speaking, or physically speaking.
Uh, all of it. I see you. No.
Girl, I am the epitome of doing too much
Oh,
this morning. That's why the frantic text of give me 5 minutes. And it's so
oh,
funny that
what
this is
happened?
going on as we're talking about like the
Yeah,
topic we're going to talk about today. It's just,
yeah.
it's going to go just full circle with the topic that we're going to talk about today, which is the
Okay.
invisible
Invisible.
load. Because yeah,
Yeah,
because yesterday I took almost like a checkout day to hang out with the kids. You saw,
yeah.
but of
It was
course
fun.
nothing got done because when I got home, like I was tired because I don't got
Mm.
stamina like that. I don't know how these parents like can go out and about like all weekend and have the
Girl, we in our
energy to
forties.
function.
That's the difference
Is that what
too.
it is? I mean,
Well, it plays a big role. Age. We had kids at a later age, right? Yeah, that for sure makes a difference.
yeah, I mean, I suppose, but then I'm also trying to still remain active, because we went to like an
Yep.
action park and
Mm,
I'm actually going to post about this. I was one of the only parents actually playing with her kids.
yeah,
And some of the
yes.
side eyes, and I don't know if it was like, why are you playing with them? Like this is for the kids, or is this like a deep down, like you're holding a mirror up to me and I have to sit on the bench and sit on the sidelines while you
It's
get
the
to go have
latter.
fun? Because I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you.
Yeah, true, true.
Considering the area I live in, but it's like, isn't
Mm,
this the whole purpose? Isn't this the whole reason? Like, isn't this why we do this day in and day out and take care of our health and wellness so that we can participate and not live in the sidelines? I mean, you posted something very similar with
yeah,
you playing with your kids. And I
all
know
the
that
time.
when
Yeah.
before your journey, like that would have been hard for you.
Oh my gosh, I was on the sidelines all the time. I talk about it. I was like a bystander, not only in my children's lives, but my own life as well. And
Yeah.
that's been it's still surreal for me when I'm at the park and playing with them and running around and going to these jungle gyms. Like, I mean, girl, I'm turning 45. My knees hurt. Like, I can crawl around in that shit, but it ain't pretty.
I mean, I feel you on that. I feel you on that because if you can recall, like maybe a month or so ago, I was like, "Hey, your girl still got it." I was able to drop it down low
Yeah.
and pick it back up with
Do you
no
want to know?
with
Do you want to know something
with
funny?
what?
So when we're having that dance party the other night, right?
Mhm.
I was dropping it down low, like I was getting down into squat, holding it, like. And my
You're
son
like,
just looked at
"Hey,
me. He's
hey."
like, "What are you doing?"
Like, God, mom.
I know. And then I got up. I'm like, "Oh, what happened to my lower back?"
You were popping that sway back too much. You were holding it for too
I was.
long.
Well, at least
We've got
I
like a
can
minimum
pop it
two
back.
seconds. When we were in our 20s, we had about 20 seconds. Now it's about
Oh,
two.
girl, no, you'd be surprised. We can hold it. We can stay down there for a while.
I'm telling you, like the amount of
Oh.
control my quads and knees today would never.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, I'm like, I don't have enough, whatever that is in my knees, like cushion for the,
You don't have enough
to-
cartilage anymore.
cartilage. That's it. Thank you.
You might be bone on bone. No, I'm just kidding. You'll know when you're bone on
Oh,
bone.
oh, dude, I was like, honestly, in my head, I'm thinking these people need to have knee pads throughout these tunnels because for people like us.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Because when I see, like, when I x ray these people who are either very old and you can tell they weren't active or they're very overweight,
Yeah.
you can see it on their x rays. Like, you can
Mm.
see because there's supposed to be like almost like an opening in between your femur and
Right.
your tibia and fibula, and it's the joint space. And a lot of times it's almost non existent or it's so bad because of the weight that they're putting on their joints that the knees start to bow in or out.
Oh my
and you can
gosh.
see it on the
Crazy.
x-ray, and I'm like,
That's nuts.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you wonder why you hurt every day.
Oh, this is just it. Like, you don't realize, the consequences of our actions that are happening. They're not visible, but they start at a very early age. And some things we realize sooner than we want to, but other
Yeah,
things, yeah, they catch up to you. Of course, they're going to catch up to you. But,
yeah,
anyways, going back to like, yeah, what you were saying. That is true. It is a combination of both, probably. You got to take everything into account, like you said, the area you live in. And such a large part of it does have to do with projection, because I was that mom too, right? Like,
hmm
just one sat on the bench because physically it's hard to move.
hmm
But don't get me wrong, not at any point did I not think, like, fuck, this sucks, right?
yeah,
But it is what it is. We're not there now. And I'm grateful for that. And hopefully our audience can, and I'm sure they do, but like, you'll find yourself in that space, place one day as well. Right. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's
I just
tough.
learned to
So
laugh harder and show them that I'm having even more fun. Because God forbid I have the audacity to live a decent and well and
yeah,
happy life for myself and my children. God forbid.
girl, I live
I'm
in my
such a
bubble.
bitch for that.
No, you ain't.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
you
I'm just kidding.
ain't.
I'm totally
I
kidding. I'm
I
totally
know.
kidding.
Honestly, like, I will walk into rooms, places, whatever, and I literally live in my bubble. Like, I have no idea what anyone is doing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I do remember going to the pool one time, and I was only mom in the pool with my son, and it was all dads, and the rest of the moms were just sitting on the sidelines. And in my mind, like, I have no idea why. Maybe it is that they're self-conscious, maybe it's a cultural thing, right? Like, because that also plays a role, right?
hmm
Culturally, religiously. But whatever the case may be, I was just like, I'm so glad I'm here. And then just started doing my thing. I'm so glad
Yeah.
I'm
No,
in
I
the
can
pool.
I can relate to that though. I can relate because
Yeah,
that was me for a very, very long time before I started to learn to love me and accept me and take care of me. I would
right.
have my husband be the one going into the
Yeah,
pool because I just couldn't bear having to take everything off, take off the cover up, and get into the pool. Like if I was in
right,
the pool, it's cool. You can't tell what's going on, but the whole idea of wrapping my mind around getting in and out of the pool was hard for me because it was just like,
right.
even though it, when you stop and think about it though, like how self-centered is that? Like you think that people are really like looking at you and judging you and
I
really
think
like,
they
oh
are,
my
though.
godding
I
you.
I think there is an element of that, maybe, but not as, I think, not as much as we make it out to be. Maybe
Yes.
there is a little tiny element of it, but for the most part, yeah,
We're
you're
not, it's
right.
not
Like,
as huge as we're catastrophizing in our head. But
exactly,
like that's how I
exactly.
felt. Like they're gonna be like, oh my god, look at her, she can't even, she's such a slob, she can't take care of herself. But
Yeah.
then again, that's my own bullshit, right? That's my
I
own
don't
stuff I had to work
know.
through.
Yeah, but like, I'll be honest, I was that person. Like, I'm gonna be fully transparent. I was that person too, because I felt like shit. I was miserable. I was a bitch. I was projecting all the time, and I mean, we all like stare and observe things around
It's
us at
human
the end of the day,
nature.
right? And
It's human
but I
nature.
did, I did. I was like, oh, either it was like, oh, how can she be out there, you know, like she's very comfortable with herself, or it was like, oh fuck, I wish I could be out there, right?
Yeah.
But there was
It's like
judgment.
that
There was
duality.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. There was some judgment. So, but to the degree that we make it out to be, yeah, no, probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
That's just our own narrative,
Pretty much, because more than
right?
likely they're probably in their own head too.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so going back to how do you feel today? Then you're like
Today,
yeah,
today I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I woke up with overwhelm because I had the idea I was gonna wake up at like 5:15, 5:30. The alarm went off, and I'm like, I'm fucking tired. I
yeah,
changed the
yeah,
alarm to 6 o'clock, and like 6 o'clock seemed perfect for me to like get started on what I need to get started, to be able to be ready to podcast with you and then take off and go get my facial and
yeah.
then come back home and finish whatever it is. But I don't know, like the overwhelm set. And then I was kind of like, I threw my hands up in the air going, this is a lot that I think I'm trying to get done in about an
Yeah.
hour and a half before I have to sit down and like hone in and
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I
it
mean, I
was.
got some stuff done, but I was really like, this is a little overambitious for me. Like, I should have just calmed the fuck down and sat down and, I should have had all my stuff set up. Like, I told myself I was going to wake up,
Mm,
at least get the room set up to podcast, and I
right.
didn't. I was like, I got time. You
Right.
know that I got time. I got
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And then I look and
Yeah.
it's 7:45 and I'm like, oh my God.
Girl, still sitting on the table having my breakfast at 7:40 or 8, well, 8:45 for me. I'm like, ah. That was the same for me. It happens, right?
Well, the
It's
panic set in once I was like making myself breakfast, and then I'm realizing I'm
mm,
eating pieces of it while I'm standing and finishing
yes,
up other
while we're
things. And I'm
doing
like,
other
yeah,
things. Yes, yes.
yeah.
So let's get into that. I actually, there's a few posts that talk about this. So I wanted to kind of bring it up and, maybe use it as a starting point,
Okay.
and we can kind of go from there. And it's just the title that like millennial moms are raising kids in the most stressful and isolated era
Ooh,
ever. So basically, millennial parents are born between 81 and 96,
okay.
right?
Hey.
Yeah, I meet that. And so, it says like they become parents in the most stressful, isolated, and expensive era in modern history. And yet they spend 3 times more time with their kids, children, and their parent than their parents did.
Oh,
Yet they
talk of
spend 3 times
wow.
more
That's
time.
deep. Like, think
Yep.
about that. That's deep.
Yeah.
So, financial stress and also the stress to make sure that the way that I interpret that is break cycles to be more present.
Yeah.
Because let's take it from a standpoint of, for myself, and I think even for you, you could resonate with this, is that we came from parents who immigrated, who
Hmm.
wanted the quote unquote American dream. And so the hustle and the grind was to provide and to provide financially, where probably the sacrifice was time spent with your children.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. Yeah, it
and
was.
so, like, that's us. Like, it's not necessarily that we have a chip on our shoulder. I think as adults now, we understand like they did the best that they could and they were just trying to survive and also provide. But whereas we see room for growth and room to do things a little differently, to be
Yep.
that, to tap into that nurturing side and understand that we can, I guess, stretch ourselves. And
Hmm.
stretch is hard to say because it is. I feel like I'm stretched a lot of days, because
Yeah.
I mean, stretch kind of has a negative, I mean, meaning behind it. But we try to stretch ourselves to be all the things to
Right.
everybody, to try to
Yeah.
be a step ahead, or to try to show like, I took what you gave me as a child from you as my parent, and now I'm going to spin it in a way that works for me, or in a way that
Hmm.
provides something a little bit better, that makes me feel happy and cozier and warm and fuzzy for my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to expand on that too. And so, and this says, and yet, our generation, they're also the most emotionally educated parents in the history, which is what adds that. I talk about this, level of, oh my God, it takes so much time, right? With like learning to be emotionally regulated, showing up for your kids in that way, the
Mm-hmm.
time, the patience, all of that. So we understand attachment, intergenerational trauma, mental load, emotional care. And these are the things that, like, that we know that previous generations ignored, either because of lack of awareness,
Mm-hmm.
or two, what you were saying, like our parents being immigrant parents. I'm sorry, but putting a roof on our head, food in our mouths and
Mm-hmm.
clothes on our backs, that came first. That was
Yeah,
priority, right?
absolutely.
Um, and we're all doing this with what quote fried nervous system. So we're constantly in fight or flight,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just read this out and then we'll just riff on all of this. Um, Millennials are the first generations to have to reparent themselves while also parenting. They're the first to try to rebuild a healthier childhood as they raise their own kids. They try to unlearn, be quiet, and do as you're told. They try to understand their triggers, repair emotional inheritance, break cycles of harsh discipline, learn empathy without having seen it modeled, which is also a difficult thing to do for us. We know that, right? And it's exhausting. We're fucking exhausted. Um, yeah, yeah. And then it's like The disappearance of the village. Oh,
Sorry.
cool. Didn't
Fucking
spill, did
bastard.
it?
No, he didn't spill, no.
um, and so these are two things I think we should like. These are things we'll touch on. But the disappearance of the village, right? You've all heard the line that it takes a village to raise a
Mm-hmm.
family. We
Mm-hmm.
know that. I understand that culturally speaking, because that's how I was raised. That's also how some of the principles that my mom tried to carry over with us as well. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, when my sister and I had kids, so parents have never been so alone. Community systems have collapsed. So this is according to the Millennial Parenthood Study. This is what they're quoting. But 60% live more than 2 hours away from family support. 40% report having zero regular help. Neighbors no longer know each other, which we know.
Mm-hmm.
That's a societal thing that's happening. Families are scattered, blended, and constantly in movement. The result, millennials compensate with massive parental presence because no one else is there. The cost, their own energy erodes. So,
Ooh, so many things resonated with me in that. The
yeah,
whole
go
it
go for
takes a
it. Shoot.
village because
Yes, let's talk about that.
your mom instilled like you and your sister like to help each other, right? For
Yeah.
me, it's a little different. My village, so I often refer to myself as the community baby.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Because I was raised for a very long time in my very young years by everybody except for my parents. And this is no slight to my parents.
Yes.
They were just busy
Yes.
working. My
Yeah.
mom was, working two jobs as a nurse. My dad was working his multiple
Same.
jobs.
Yeah.
So I was raised by my lolo, my grandpa, and my grandmother, and whoever aunts or uncles had finally immigrated to the Philippines, they all established themselves in our
Mm-hmm.
2 3 bedroom apartment, whatever it was in that moment.
Yes.
And it was
Yes. I
a
can relate, girl.
whole apartment full of people, but like it was a shared task to raise me. And so when I have fond memories of my childhood, it's fond memories of me and my grandpa. Like I was his little ace
Mm-hmm.
deuce. He would take me everywhere with him. And the way it was described to me, because I was so young when he passed, I don't remember. I just remember like little bits of things, but also things that people told me is that, he was a very hard man.
Mm.
But when it came to me,
Mm.
man, I guess I brought out like something in him.
Yeah.
Like I was,
Yeah.
I was his girl.
Mm.
Like no was not an answer. Like I was always going with him. It was not even in question. And then so
Mm.
when he passed, my uncle, who's the youngest boy, who I still am very close with today, who almost like had to give the nod of approval to my husband as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yeah.
But actually
Yeah.
gave it more easily than my own parents, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I think because my uncle, he and I have a different type of relationship. We're very close, and he knows me, and he knows how he knows that I'm not going to give my all to just anybody.
Right.
And so I became his baby to the point where when it came time to get picked up from school, if it wasn't him, I was throwing a temper tantrum.
Oh.
Like if it was my own parents, I'm like, no, go away, turn around, send him. So
Yeah.
like for
Yeah.
me, when it's like it takes a village, it was like I was the community baby, and that's why there was a lot of resentment within my own family, within my own cousins, because I had this closeness to certain family members,
Right.
or I was deemed the quote unquote favorite. But it wasn't even just the fact that I was the favorite, it was just that I was raised by so many of them that they just had like I had a piece of their heart in a different way, and that's it.
Yeah. So before we get into, the effects and how, we and now how it is different for us. So in most countries outside of North America, um,
That's a
that
thing.
is there. The village, it's the village.
Hmm.
Mom, for example, my culture, mom, the daughter will go stay with the mom for like 2 months, and then the aunts and everyone will she will hand off the baby, and they will just take care of the baby while mom rests, sleeps, gets her
Hmm.
strength back. They make different foods, prepare like we call them pinia, but they're these like round, they're like protein balls, but they're not. But they have like fats and nuts and all sorts of
So hormonal support
things that,
things.
yeah, and and this dates back to God knows when, right? And to help the body heal. And so that's what used to happen then. And then my parents, of course, immigrants here, but we lived in an extended family as well. So my aunt, my grandma, and my parents worked a lot, like yours, right? Were not around, and my grandma, and partially my aunt raised us, for many, many years. And so they had that. They didn't have to go outside of that family network. Now, whether that was positive or not, that's another story, right? Like the family dynamics, all that, it depends, right?
Yeah.
But the point is that they didn't have to go outside of that network, right? They have people around them. And so there's that. There's another aspect too, though. I don't know. I don't want to get into it today, but yeah, and now, and it's like in this day and age, why is it that we don't have that anymore? Like we really don't. And there's so many reasons, like work. Women are working now.
Hmm.
When women were staying at home, they were staying at home and doing the work at home, right? Where the male was doing his thing.
Hmm.
But now it's like women and men work equally. Yet we're spending more time with our kids, yet we're still carrying 80% of the invisible load, or which we're going to define.
What a good
And
segue.
I know. And so what is the invisible load? And this is just, again, this is coming from our experiences and kind of what we've seen, what we see with our clients, all of it, what we see around us in our culture with like-minded women. And it's everything. It's like that a picture that you see where that woman is hunched over and she's carrying that whole thing of like laundry, to-do tasks, lists, like, we're constantly, we have this, I don't know about you, but I have this voice always, go do this,
Oh,
go do
yeah.
that, go do that
I
all
call
the
them the
time.
voices in my head, like where it's
There
always
you
a
go.
running
Perfect,
tally of things
right?
going on. And that's why I sometimes joke, and I shouldn't joke because it may become come across insensitive where I tell my husband I have multiple personalities, but it's literally me saying like I'm tapping into all the different voices in my head telling me this
Mm-hmm.
has got to get done, this has got to get done. Oh, don't forget about this. Oh, don't forget about that. Oh, Clea has an orthodontist appointment. Oh wait, Cam has this. Oh wait, black belt
Yep.
testing's this week. And
Yep.
and then you work this week, and then they've got to go to my parents for babysitting on this week. So it's literally it's a nonstop commentary in my
Mm-hmm.
head where sometimes I struggle to just say shut the fuck up to everybody. Shut up. Because even
Yes.
sometimes trying to go to bed, like I can't get them to shut the fuck up.
Oh, dude, that's been me the last 3 days. I've had like serious insomnia. Like last night, I finally probably, like the other night, I slept an hour. The night before, maybe it was a couple hours. And last night, 4 hours. And it's this constant, like, I gotta take my kid to immunization. I gotta get his immunizations done before 5. We're traveling out of country, and I wanna make sure that's done. They have their daycare, they have their programs, they have their medical appointments. And like my other one is having leg pain and he has a rash. And I'm like, like gotta get that rash shown to someone because like
Because you
and
don't want
then
to be
and
traveling and it becomes something else.
or and I know it's virus related, so I was like hoping that it would just go away.
You're
But
like,
it,
okay.
yeah, and we're not going to get into the reasons why, like, we of course I mean, we don't have that kind of research in front of us, right? Nor have we done the research. So again, this is strictly coming from us and our experiences, but
Mhm.
um it depends, right? It depends on your culture. It depends on the society you live in. It depends on your economic status.
It depends on
But
how
all of
you
it,
feel about yourself, how you compare
yeah,
yourself to others.
yes,
It
yes,
depends on what standard that you set. Are they manageable expectations? Are they ridiculous expectations? All of that matters.
all of it. And like I think about myself, and I'm like, I had my kids honestly late, like just shy of 36 and 40. And, we're a generation of women that are having kids later. So I'm sorry, I'm not 40 and my kid's out of the house. I'm 40 and I'm changing diapers, and not only that, but now couple that with having to take care, or at least like, knowing that you're going to have the responsibility of aging parents.
Hmm. And
Throw that
even
in
your
there.
own aging, though, throw that in
But
there.
your
Your
own
own
aging,
aging. Yeah.
and we're going through
But see, that's the
perimenopause.
thing. So so this is
Yeah.
also part of the invisible load is you
Yes.
disregarded your own aging, which is also a factor because you and I are both pre or perimenopausal,
Yeah.
where I'm wondering, you said that you haven't been sleeping well. I wonder, is it
Yep.
the invisible load and the voices, or is it the
Combination.
hormones, or is it a
Yeah.
combination? Who knows? Because we'll never really know. All we can do is just control the variables we can control. But it's really funny that you were like this, but then you forgot about you. But that's that invisible load where we've put, and this is nothing against, our
Mm.
partners in our relationships, but it's for whatever reason, it's that load that we take on that nobody put on ourselves, but we took it on.
Well, we did because of what we grew up and what was modeled to us, though,
Boom.
right?
Yep.
So we
Because of
did.
what
We
we were
did.
ingrained with at a very young age. Because
Yeah.
culturally
We.
speaking, I know that I can
Yes.
speak for myself, and I'm sure you can resonate with this,
Yep.
where it was very much so like you are the matriarch of the home. You are
Yeah.
to be responsible for yourself, your husband, or your spouse, or your partner, and
Your
your children.
in-laws.
That too, like where I live so close to my parents, where, well, not necessarily my in-laws per se. Like, I mean, I check in with my mother-in-law. Her and I have a very great relationship. She
Yeah.
likes to unload and dump on me sometimes because she feels like I'm the only person that she can really talk to, which, okay, I love that for her. Like, that's amazing. She's a wonderful lady. But my parents, I have responsibility to my parents because they're like a house away. And so, like, my
Yeah.
mom right now, she's home by herself, and because my dad's in the Philippines, and she's like, I need help. And I'm like, what do you need help with? She's like, I need you to go to Lowe's and get those storage bins for me. I can't do it by myself. Okay, got you. But yeah,
Yeah.
again, another thing, because it's that obligation that
Yes.
you have to
Well, in
help your
our
parents.
yeah, and obligation, and also like I think it's a combination of two things too, like wanting to, but there's also that expectation tied to it. So where is, it gets blurred, like
Yeah.
where it feels like you have to versus you really want to, and so sometimes like you really have to kind
Oh,
of take
I'll
a
be
step
straight up
back,
honest
like
with you. Like, I want to
yeah,
help my mom. I
yeah,
have to help my dad because it's like I
right.
have to help him so that way he doesn't give shit to my mom. Period.
Okay, yeah. So see, that's for you, and for me, it's like I want to help my parents, right? Like I don't live. I live in a different province, which is equivalent to a different state for you guys, and I my mom has rheumatoid arthritis, like debilitating. It is a debilitating
Oh, that's
disease.
hard.
Yeah, so hard, girl, and like I am like, I do not want that. And of course, we know that it lives within us, like that gene has to be activated, and stress, fortunately, is one of those things. And
Yeah.
80% of people, women, or people that have autoimmune disease, guess what? They're fucking women. And so,
Shocker.
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 And so, like, yes, like I want to. So I do as much as I can when I go there, and I do as much as I can from here. Um, and just going back to the whole village, like, is it okay if I kind of go back to that right now? Because I
Yeah.
have no idea where I was going with this. But going back to like having a village, I had kids here, and I had my second one during like kind of mid to the tail end of COVID. But as we're coming out of COVID, there's travel still, people aren't traveling. You still got to be careful, all of that. But just living away, like, it was all on me, right? And
Yeah.
I couldn't even my community and my friends. And there's a part of me, maybe because I'm brown, like I don't trust a lot of people. And of the previous work that I've done, like I've worked in law enforcement, I've worked, I have had a lot of exposure to like sexual abuse, child abuse, all those things, right? So I'm like
Hmm.
heightened.
Yeah.
But so I know there's a part of me that was like, yeah, no, I'm going to take care of my own kids as well. But at the same time, yeah, that support, the support isn't around when you live away. And that's another, going back to what I was reading when we first started, like, yeah, we're all over the place now. We don't live geographically close to our family, right? Like in my
Hmm.
culture, we do. So everyone in BC, like my cousins, everyone, like it's a big community of Indian people, right? So
Hmm.
they have that. My sister and brother, they can drop off their kids at my parents' house at any time. They can go on mini trips, and my parents are going to babysit them. I don't have that.
Yeah, because you've got to get on a flight to go drop them off.
Right. Yeah. And so like for years and years, like, it was just responsibilities that responsibility fell, on us as the parents, like who's going to do that while you go do this, etc., blah, blah, blah. But it was lonely, girl. It was fucking lonely. On top of everything that I was dealing with, like I'm sitting at home with a newborn or whatever, like a soon to be 1 year old, and another kid, a 4 year old, 5 year old at home. And it's, 12 hours a day. You're just doing your thing, and there's nothing, there's no support. I couldn't even go to, like grocery shopping or just simple tasks. Like I couldn't schedule anything.
Well, it's also
And
overwhelming to do that. So
and it's
you're
overwhelmed. Yeah.
still in COVID, so you don't know because you've got a newborn,
Well, that too.
where you're
Yeah.
like, do I not? Like, I'm not sure. Like, well, how is this going to affect us as a family if something happens, if they get sick
Yeah.
because of this? And then two, it's overwhelming. You're you, and traveling
So,
with two little kids is a lot because you've got the carrier, and then you've probably,
oh
your
yeah.
5 year old, you've got to either hold his hand to walk or hold
Or
him
yeah.
too, and then you've
Or
got the
make sure they
diaper
don't.
bag. It's like you're tired before you even fucking back out of
Oh,
the,
I
the
don't.
driveway.
Yeah, let's not even bring it into like everything that you need to prep and prepare before you leave on a vacation. Like I remember with my first, I was going back to BC flying with my little one every 2 to 3 months
Oh wow.
because I want. Yeah, I just stayed with my parents, and here we are very fortunate in Canada. We get very good maternity leave. I work for the federal government, but every woman is entitled to 12 months, and they can choose to spread that out to 18 months. So they have
God, that's
that,
amazing.
right?
That's
And
amazing.
with my job, like they paid my full wages for the first year, right? So like, isn't yeah, yeah.
Is that
So
every job, or is that just because you worked for the,
for the federal
like,
government,
for
full. Provincial government, I think it's not as much, but it's still like 60%
okay.
maybe. And then for other companies, it's obviously going to differ, but you still get your benefits from the government, the federal government, right? So even if you don't have those extra like top up benefits from your work, you still, everyone is entitled to that base pay every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So
Because
yeah,
we have
so
something
we're,
similar, but it's not like that. Like
oh
have
yeah, no,
we
it's
get
so
eight
good
weeks of
here.
maternity leave and like 8 weeks of what that's called the FMLA,
Oh, that's
Family
so
Medical
sad.
Leave Act. Yeah, but I had to, so
That's
for my first kid, because I had just started my job, maybe like less than a year, so I didn't have enough time to take my additional FMLA time. So I had to go back to work after 8 weeks. I sobbed
That
and
is so
wailed
sad. Girl,
because I
I
was
wasn't
like,
even healing from my C-section yet. Like, what
yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, so I had to do that, but
Ah,
I did get paid. So we got something called state disability where it's 60/40. My job paid me 40%, state disability paid me 60%.
yeah.
Um, and then I was able to take my FMLA. So we can take the FMLA within a year of having the baby, and that's the additional 8 weeks. So I had to accrue enough time
Mm,
worked before I could take that. And then, that's why my oldest is like, I mean, we're close, we're great, we have a great relationship, but we're just not bonded.
it
Like
makes a
she's,
difference.
yeah, she's super bonded with her papa, my
Mm.
dad, because basically that's who raised
They
her.
took
She
care of
was
them. Yeah.
that was the village, that was the community baby, because my husband and I were
Yes.
both working. And then my youngest, I had, and I didn't realize it, with my first one, but I had really bad postpartum, but I didn't
Oh
realize it
yeah.
because it's something that people don't really talk about. And then with my
No.
second Camden, I realized that I was having really bad anxiety, really bad postpartum. And so I reached out to my doctor. So they put me on extended leave. So I actually
Mm.
got 10 months off with the baby.
So
I
there you
managed
go.
to
Yeah.
finagle that, but it's a difference. So I've
Yeah.
got one
Yeah.
who's like, she's like, Mommy, hi, I'm your daughter. And then the other one who's like, Mommy, I'm under your armpit, I'm your fucking shadow.
Oh, that's
And
like
it
my
makes
second
it,
one. Yeah.
but it makes a
Dude,
difference with
it
how
does.
they were, how much time they got as they were young. And then
But
like
the
the
yeah.
youngest, like she wouldn't take a bottle. I couldn't
Yeah.
leave her anywhere, like not
Right.
for longer
Right.
than an
Then
hour.
there's that. Yeah.
She wanted what she wanted, which was from the natural source.
Yes, yes. And that's, and think about that though, like the emotional load of you're being torn away from your child because of the fact that we live in a society where we have to work, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But I will
and
say
it
I'm
doesn't support us.
grateful that I didn't have to send them away to a daycare, which
There
there's
you
nothing
go,
wrong with
right? That
daycare,
is,
right? If
yeah,
that's your option, then that's your option, right? But for me as a new mom, I can't even imagine what it's like for
Yeah.
you if you don't have a village or a community of people that
Yeah.
you trust wholeheartedly, and you just have to willingly or unwillingly drop off your child because you just don't have the choice. Whereas, like,
Right.
I cried because I was like, why do I have to leave my baby right now?
Hmm.
And it wasn't like I'm worried for her safety. I'm worried about how she's going to be cared for. So I didn't have that invisible load, but it
But that
was
is the invisible load. That
well,
is
that
the
that
invisible
that
load,
part of the
right?
invisible load.
Yes,
So because
yes,
like
yes.
other moms who have to drop them off to a daycare to
Yeah,
people that they may or may not know that well,
yeah.
that's a whole different invisible load. My
Oh,
invisible
for
load for
sure.
that was, okay, well, they're with my parents, but I really want to be with my baby. And this sucks because I'm still going through
It's
hormone
heartbreaking.
issues. Like, my
Yeah,
boobs are hurting. I want to nurse her and I just want to be with her and I just want to smell her baby smell. And this is
yeah.
bullshit. Now I have to sit here and take x-rays of people who are whiny.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Like I had postpartum really bad 2 years straight. Like it was so bad with the first one. The second one not so much. But still, I mean, we all think about like fuck. It is hard. So there's that. I know again with my siblings, like they were able to the point that my mom could physically take care of them and until she couldn't. Yeah, my mom, my parents, and then for my brother, like his in-laws, like everyone steps in, like a couple days here, a couple days there.
Yeah.
And so there's that. But nowadays it's just, for so many of us, me falling into that category, we didn't have that, and it is really hard, and it was hard, and now I'm in a different season of life. So yeah, like things have shifted, and I'm not there, and I grew and I learned, but we learned from that, right? I learned from it
Mm-hmm.
as well. And then now moving into like current day. So let's just talk about though the daily shit, and
Yeah.
as women, and I'm just going to say it as the woman, like you are the default parent, whether that's is just the way it is. Like,
Yeah.
can it be better? For sure. Like, can you implement things? Can there be a situation where like maybe your partner or whomever like can step in, take more of a role and do more? Sure. But still, even given that, we are still carrying most of the load, right? Like,
Right.
yes, you can, say, hey, here's this for you, and like you can do this, and take things off your list. But how much?
Yeah.
How much, right?
Yeah.
Like, and maybe for some, yeah, they can say, yeah, no, no, mine, with my life, yeah, it's equal, everything's good. I just don't think that's the case, though. Realistically speaking, I think that like um women in our generation are kind of living between those two worlds.
Yeah.
Right, where you're still trying
Yeah.
to find, whereas like I think the younger generation, maybe they're getting married later, or maybe having children later, and so and they've grown up with a different set of just they've been raised differently, right? So that
Yeah.
all plays a role, and maybe they're not dealing with it as much as our generation is. But we can only speak for ourselves and all of our friends and family and girlfriends and cousins that are females that all express the same similar sentiment.
Yeah.
The
I mean, I'm
voices in
going to
our head.
say, going back to the whole default parent thing, like,
Yeah.
because there are days where I'm losing my mind, and, my
Hmm.
husband is sitting at the kitchen table and I'm on the couch, and they bypass him, even though he's the closest parent, and they go to me
And
to
they'll come
ask
to
for
you,
something.
of
But
course.
it's nothing against him. It's not a slight against
Mm-mm.
him. I think it's just their natural instinct, because I'll make a
Hmm.
comment, will be like, how do you guys walk right past your daddy who's closer to you and the fridge for something out of the fridge to come all the way to me on the couch? And then
You're
my
like,
husband,
ask
like,
him.
my husband will raise his hands in the air going, I don't know, babe. I don't know. Cause it's not like he's opposed to helping. Um,
Hmm.
but I think it's the kids, honestly, when I sit and think about it, because you were talking about it and I was starting to analyze it in my brain, it kind of was like, well, maybe we become the default parent because we are the ones that raised them from the beginning. We grew them, we birthed them.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
relied on us from the very beginning, because let's be honest, when the dads, how much can they really do other than help with feedings in the evening, like as far
Right.
as
Right.
like changing a diaper after we're done feeding them, but other than that, like, or making the bottle, but like, how much can they really do when they're infants? And so I think it's almost like we've imprinted into our children at a very, very small, young
Mhm.
age that we're the default parent. And I think that they just never grow out of it now that I think
Ye-
about it.
Yeah, I think like for sure, physiologically, for sure, they're going to be attached to their mother. They're looking for mama smell. They're looking, for sure, physiologically. And at the same time, though, I feel like, and I believe that due to all of these external variables at play, we are also forced to become the default parent.
Yeah.
The like again, let's talk about like making, what are we juggling with? Like for example, like for me right now, I'm like, fuck, like I got to make sure that I get him into gymnastics, and he has to start his swimming now. He's turning 5, so I got to get that going. Okay, the vacation stuff. Oh shit, got to do the passport applications. We got to deal with that. And it's like it's always something, but it's like managing their calendar, the kids' calendar, and then
Hmm.
managing our own and trying to
Yeah.
work within that. Um it's you know and it's maybe biologically as well, but it's all of this plays a role. And then it depends on kind of what generation you were raised in and your culture, right? And in my culture, I know very much so, like, the women did everything. The women did
Yeah.
everything.
Well,
The
that's
women ate
it's the same.
last,
It's the
right?
same in my culture.
And
Like we are just we are the ones that keep the things moving. We're the clock.
yeah, and even if it's not culturally related in the sense of what culture we come in, just if we step back and take a, look at it from a wider lens, but females in general,
Hmm.
it's always, you talk to anybody, brown, white, blue, yellow, I don't care. Women will say, again, have a similar sentiment. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we are managing the calendars, we're managing all the appointments, we're the ones taking the kids to this and this. And yes, our spouse jumps in when he or she can. However, because at the end of the day, there are roles, right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
care what you say, those roles, they
Hmm.
they they
Yes.
exist for a reason. Going back to what you said, physiologically, your kids are going to be attached to you because you are the mother. Um, and so, you have these roles as well. And, uh, you know, and then I don't want to say that it's everyone else's fault, or the blame is, all external. Yeah, it is. But we do, like everything, like everything though, at some point we have to take a step back and, take some personal responsibility and say, well, fuck, like, I don't have to do it all.
Hmm.
um for some,
Or it
maybe
doesn't
they
have
do
to be
have
done a
to,
specific way because that's what
or it
I'm
doesn't have,
guilty.
yes,
That's where I am
yes.
guilty. Where, so if you guys haven't caught on yet, because I didn't even intro us because we got so deep in this
Oh yeah, we
conversation,
didn't.
we're
Yeah.
talking about the invisible load. And all of this
Hmm.
is pertaining to the invisible load. And so to riff off of what you were saying, that part of the reason why a lot of us are stressed and dealing with that quote unquote invisible load is because of the expectations we put on ourselves. Because what we think that we have to do,
Yeah.
because we don't allow ourselves permission to not do it. Because a lot of times, just like you, Dal, I'll have this running tally of things that need to get done. And my husband, where I'm very type A, he's organized, but he's a little bit more relaxed. And I guess he's the yin to my
Mhm.
yang, or vice versa, where he's like, babe, it's gonna get done. And I'm like, no.
No, it
Because
ain't fucking getting done.
if it doesn't
Yes.
get done, if I don't do this now, it's not going to get done because I'm going to get overwhelmed by XYZ after
Yes.
ABC. And
Yes.
then DEFJKLNMNP is going to get forgotten
See?
about. So it's
And
like,
we're never gonna get to Z.
and
Z.
that's the thing is that, like, that's where sometimes, I almost have to take on the role of making sure that the kids things are packed. And I mean, part of this conversation came up because we were both going on vacations, and for me, I was trying to figure out how I'm going to hack the time
Hmm.
space continuum to get ready and prep for this vacation or this trip with 0 days off leading up to the day we leave.
Yeah.
And so I'm having running tallies on my list, in my brain, going notes on my phone, paper notes of all the things. But really, at the end of the day, could I have taken a step back? Yeah. Could I have
Yeah.
surrendered and asked my husband to step in because he had a couple of days off? Yeah. But because
Hmm.
I'm so fucking OCD and I can't surrender control because of my own issues, I was like, I got this. When I really should have said, shut the fuck up, Carmi, ask for the
Yeah.
help. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm guilty of,
I'm
adding
guilty
on
of
to
that
the
too.
invisible load.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, some of those things though, but in reality, like, I don't know, like, yes, things will get missed. Like my son will be like, "Oh, what if we forget something?" And I just say to him, like, "Who cares? Then we'll
We'll
buy
buy it.
something. We'll buy it,
Yeah.
right?"
I said, as long as it's
So
nothing that's like specific, like a prescription that you
yes,
have to, like, it
yes,
doesn't matter.
yeah, and I want to now like take this to and kind of connect it to like why it is difficult for women to take care of themselves and to find the time. And again, this is not to say that you don't, yes, you have to take accountability and responsibility and choose to do things differently, but that takes awareness, right? Um, but like we have to understand that like when women are looking, me included, who want to lose weight, this all plays a role. And I feel like maybe it's something that's missing from some coaching. Maybe people don't understand. Maybe if you haven't been through it, maybe it's not your life experience. Maybe it's not what you grew up with. And maybe, and this is not a slight to any coach or anything, but maybe you're younger. And so you haven't had that life experience. But when women come to you for weight loss, like I know, and I know, Carmi, it's not just about weight. Like we are
No.
struggling. We are dealing with a laundry list of
Hmm.
things
It's
that we are
trying to
responsible
put
for.
yourself in a position where you can still prioritize yourself, but still stretch yourself enough to give everybody else what they need, while also trying to figure
Yeah.
out how to give yourself what you need and giving yourself
Yeah.
permission to take what you need.
Yeah, and that whole permission thing, I touch on that a lot, like permission, you do too, a lot, allowing yourself, like it's okay. It's, there's a part of me that kind of resents it too, because in my culture, it's like, you need permission to do things. Like you get married and you respect your in-laws, you respect your spouse. Respect meaning you basically, you know,
It's given and not earned.
you do what? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
where
Now
it's
you're
in
mo-
where now
Yeah,
we're
no,
like
go ahead.
trying to be progressive, and we're like, no, I'm gonna match what you give me, in a sense.
Yeah,
Like, where if
yeah.
you don't respect me, well, I'm not going to disrespect you, but I'm also not going to ni hao ma,
But that's
be
yeah,
like bend
yeah.
down,
That's
ni hao
recall.
ma.
Yeah, that's recall. Yeah, that's what we say. But yeah, but again, that's a cultural thing. That's something that you're trapped in between two different worlds,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
One, you may
because we're
not know
taught that. We're
better.
taught to
We're
just
taught that.
respect, eat your shit, eat the,
Yeah,
whatever they have to say to you, you just eat it and you take it. And
yeah,
now it's
and
like,
you should
no.
wear this and you shouldn't wear that because it's disrespectful, and you should put on your face because look at what you're going to look like to the rest of the world, community, or the family, or this or that. But like,
That's
this
huge
is
in
a
the Indian culture,
shit.
isn't it? Like,
Yes,
how you
yes,
present yourself to the world,
yes.
like who you pick as a partner. I've noticed that. I've noticed that. Like, that's huge,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not even just like your parents putting that pressure on you. It's because of what the community or society puts on them
Oh, for
also,
sure.
which
Yes,
is
yes,
that runs
yes.
fucking deep. That's crazy.
Right, right. And so it's like, so that's why like permission, like that word just is like,
Yeah, it's hard
but
because it's like, why do we have
it
to ask permission to make ourselves a priority? It should just be a given.
Yeah, yeah. And I look back at like my mom, whom did so much, your mom too, because we've spoken about it. Like they didn't know that they had to take care of themselves, and in what way, right? Whether it was like an
Hmm.
education, lack of education, being immigrants, English as a barrier, right? Like English as a
Hmm.
second language, time, because like both of our parents working 24/7. um, but it's different for us, right? We're more educated, we're more aware, we're all of that. But we didn't get, for me, I know, and for you too, like I didn't step into it. I didn't have that awakening, that whole like, hey, question this, question that. Why are you doing this? What have you been told? Until my 40s. Like I didn't. And so I just did what I thought I was supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
And that, and doing what I was supposed to do. And then, being it being told to me like, yeah, this, you have to do this, this is how it is, and this is how you're gonna this is the path that you're going to take, and this is how it's going to be set out for you. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but I mean, again, like, those are things that are weighing on women.
Yeah.
And
But it's not
you
even, it
know,
goes past and beyond a cultural thing, though, too.
it
Because if you
does.
think
Yeah.
about it, too, it's even society. Because society tells
Yeah.
us that we have to be a certain way. Society
Yeah.
tells us we have to look a certain way. Society tells us that even though we're working moms, we have to be a certain type of way. Or society tells us, like, how dare you be a working mom? You should be a stay at home mom and do all the things. Like, it's almost like that judgment of we're damned if we do and we damned if we don't. Because
Damned
if
if
we're
you
a stay
don't.
at home
Yeah.
mom, how dare you take time for yourself? How dare you not pour 150% of your time into your family and your home? And then it's, if you're a working mom, how dare you ask for
Yeah.
time for yourself because um, you want to go
You're
work
already
out and
away
take
from.
care. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
already away from your home enough. You should be making your own sourdough bread in that time, or you should be baking your own things in that time. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like,
Yeah, cooking from scratch. And
it's that
you know.
standard that, like, we try to live up to, that we've been ingrained and told, like, that's how we're supposed to look, be, and act.
Hmm.
But I think the difference between us and our generation is it's almost like a lot of us are becoming awakened and understanding, like, no,
Hmm.
it's our terms, it's our blueprint, it's our rules. Like, we do it how we feel like we need to do it for us and in our home. And that's a really beautiful thing, because now we're becoming empowered, therefore raising an empowered family and empowered children to understand that it's our way, it's our rules, it's how we want it to be. You get to
and
create something.
and we are breaking cycles. We
Mm-hmm.
really are. And they're not just, I say it's plural. It's a whole, lots of different cycles that
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to work our way through, and just do things differently for our kids, for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, right? Even for your relationship, if that's the case, right? You're trying to do things differently.
Yeah.
And I was on a call with Jeb, who's my mentor, and I was just like, there's so much. Like, I'm not just trying to, so I completely shifted my career, right? Like, I was in the law enforcement kind of sphere for over 20 years. And now, like, with now I'm doing nutrition. Like, that's a whole
Yeah.
different wheelhouse,
Yeah.
right? And I am having to learn all of this stuff, like nutrition, coaching, how to be a better coach. Like, I'm investing so much into this.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, you know, it coincides with me changing my parenting and learning to reparent myself. But that means, like, I have to take the time out, not just put everything into nutrition and learning about this and this part of my life, but I'm also having to dedicate that time to want to be and learn to be a better parent, a
Well,
more
because how
regulated.
can you only learn about it but not actually apply it? That's the thing, though.
Exactly,
Because that's
right?
part of the problem with people in
Yes.
the nutrition spaces. There is not a lack of information. It's just a
Yeah.
lack of you applying the information and knowledge that you've been given. So
Right.
it's very much the same. Like, you can learn all the things, but if you're not applying it in a practical setting, what's the fucking point? Why'd you
Well,
even
this
waste
is
the time
just
to find
it.
it?
But, like, and this is just it though. Like, we're dealing with, so I've come to this kind of place in my life now where it's like, I'm going to dedicate the time and put my resources towards, like, more of how and what I do with my kids. Like, I want to spend more time with my kids. I still want to do this, but that means, like, I do have to put some time aside, money aside, and say, okay, like, how, because I'm learning again, reparenting, how do I do that? But that
Mm-hmm.
also means then, okay, like, again, invisible load. What percentage of the pie is going to be my professional life? What percentage of the pie is I'm going to be dedicating to my children, and
Mm-hmm.
then to myself, right? And
Yeah.
it's learning to juggle all that. And it just takes time. It's
Mm-hmm.
not going to happen overnight. And even though we say we want to do something, it doesn't always work out that way
Right.
because of all of this shit that's going on. And so, again, you have to take that step back, and it's not enough to think about it, want it, wish it, all of
Yeah.
that. You have to do it.
Yeah.
right?
But also going back to your pieces of the pie, though, you also have to
Hmm.
be willing to be flexible to adjust those pieces as
Yes,
life
yes.
happens, because you and I both know life is going to happen. Life does not
Ah,
stop. So you
girl,
may
happens every
say,
day.
you
Yeah.
can speak it out into the universe all day long that you're going to put, 40 or whatever it is
We're
percent
not
to
math girls
all
either.
things. I'm fucking not. Okay, I'm pretty sure that
I
math worked. Okay, yes, 30,
don't
60,
either.
40.
60,
Yes,
40,
a
it did.
100. We're at 100. So thank God I didn't make a fucking fool of myself on the math. Okay, try to pick easy fucking numbers.
Oh my
Because you said a circle
gosh.
and not a square. If you said a
Yeah.
square was four pieces, I knew it was going to be 25%. God damn it.
That's it. That's as far as we go. The extent of our fraction ability
Don't
to do
ask me anything
fractions.
else, okay? That's why
Oh
I
my
didn't do
gosh.
nursing, because I didn't want to have to do nursing math. I just do x-ray math
Yeah.
and that's it, okay?
Yeah.
As far as my math goes, the extent is, well, it was a little bit of like x-ray physics, which I just had to like memorize it, turn and burn it, and then, learning how to double numbers for like my
Girl,
techniques.
I do my nine multiplications like this. What's 5 times 7? No, I'm just kidding.
So,
Anyways,
going back
yeah.
to that, like you have to
Oh
be
my god.
able to allow yourself to adjust the percentages though too, and be
Hmm.
okay with it and not feel like you're a fucking failure, because
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going to have to adjust accordingly. And I think that that's the biggest thing for most people is they start to like get in that puddle of suck and like start to feel like, well, I couldn't do it, I'm a failure. No, you just couldn't do it at the numbers you set. It just maybe wasn't realistic for you in that moment. Can it be realistic at a different time? Probably. It's just not what's realistic for you right now. So
Yeah.
figure
And
it
we're here.
out and keep it
Yeah.
moving.
And like we want to empower you, and we want you to know. So when we speak about our experiences, like for example, for me, Carmi, and I'll post this actually on Monday. Like when I started my journey, I was okay. We think like we have. I know I had all the cards stacked against me, right? 40 plus, female, postpartum, heaviest I've ever been, alcohol dependency, right? Like the extreme life stress, hypothyroidism, you fucking name it, right? it
Mm-hmm.
was it was everything. And I didn't just like start with like what we would have previously, our previous us would have said, yeah, I'm gonna overhaul everything. No,
Yeah.
it was just one thing. And for me, it was just track your food, like figure out how much you're eating, right? Quantity. That's it. Nothing else. Um, but that was a major thing in my whole journey, was like, do what works for you. And this is what we're trying to say. Like, yes, you may have all of these things that feel like, they're just weighing you down physically, emotionally, mentally, all of it. And I am 100% positive they are, because we know they do for us.
You're validated in those feelings, 100%.
And you can still choose differently.
Mm-hmm.
Differently meaning, where Carmi and I come from, is one small step forward, whatever that may look like for you. And in our coaching, I know in our mentorship with Jeb, like a lot of it is like, hey, what state are you in? Like, where's your nervous system right now?
Yeah.
Maybe you have too much on your plate. Let's take something away. You don't have to do all of this stuff to make progress. You can make progress just by choosing to do one thing better every single day. And that might mean drinking more water. That's it.
Or just taking your
That's
ass
it.
to bed 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah, yeah, or not scrolling. Oh, I'm guilty.
Doom scrolling.
I know, right? I know. Um, yeah, and so it's like, just yeah, we recognize that invisible load. And at one point, that invisible load held me like I was a prisoner to it. I really was.
Yeah.
A prisoner to the invisible load, but a prisoner to my own self limiting beliefs, the narratives that I
Comparison.
believed. Yeah, all of it, right?
Yeah.
And how you break free is to recognize that you can do this. You're capable of change. You
And
are not
surrendering where you
confined.
can.
Yeah, and you're not confined. You're not confined to all of these things that you've been telling yourself. And the only way forward is to show yourself. and prove to yourself that you can do that. And that means just show up the best
Hmm.
way you can
Yeah.
every single day, right? And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to look perfect. You know, when I look back, I wasn't doing anything, and now I'm doing many of the things. That's kind of perfect for me,
Well,
right?
because it's still progress. It's still you
Yeah,
doing things versus
yeah.
you just sitting on the sidelines on the bench saying and wishing and hoping, like, I want to be like that person. I want to be like Carmi at Urban Air playing. But yet you can wish it, you can say it, you can manifest it.
Like we said,
But if you
yeah,
don't do anything to work towards that, you're going to still continue to sit on the bench and hope and wish and pray.
yeah,
And then where are you going to
yeah.
be? Nowhere.
And you fucking ruminate, man. Ruminating is not good. It just keeps you stuck
Yeah.
in that cycle,
Yeah,
right?
it does. It does. But I think the
Reflection is
biggest
different.
thing is just understanding that a lot of that invisible load is a lot of commentary and narrative in our head, because
It's yeah.
I've had to dial myself back, just like this morning, like I said, full circle moment where I was like, I
Mm,
finally had to say, you know what, you're doing too much. Finish
mm,
cutting up this chicken and put it in the
yes.
fucking fridge, come back to it later. You're not gonna fucking get it done right now, and that's okay. I
Hmm.
allowed myself to say, okay, this is too much. Let's take this, let's unload a little bit of that load off of me. We're going to come back
Hmm.
to it later because
Hmm.
it's just not working out for me, and that's okay. Like I had a day with my girls and that was more
Hmm.
important, and that's okay. So is today going to be a little bit busier? Yes. But I'm not going to stress myself out about it, because if things just don't get done, if the fucking floors don't get cleaned, then the floors just don't get cleaned. I can ask somebody to clean them this
Yes.
week.
Okay, can we talk about this a little bit because this is what was going through my head. So
Mm-hmm.
old me, I understand now what it was. It was just a substitute behavior for avoidance, right? Not wanting to
Mm-hmm.
face what was going on. So my coping has not been limited to alcohol and food. My coping stems goes way further when I look back. Shopping, when I would buy certain things, they had to be like if I bought a set of cutlery, like spoons, knives, and then all the matching like serving spoons, and then all of my cooking utensils, like they had to be the same brand. And I would buy things like if things were on sale, oh, I'll need it later, I'll just get it now. Like, so I had lots of different ways of coping. And then it was my house. And yes, I'm notorious for organization, but how what organization looks like for me and where I come from, it's different now than what it was before. Before it was another way of like, you know, again to cope, right? Like it was
Mm-hmm.
everything had to be organized. I would get the bins, I would get this, I would get that.
You can't
And
control your own narrative in your head, or your own like health and wellness right now, because you just don't know how to. So these are the things
and
you
I
can
don't
control.
yeah, and then my house had to be clean and my kid, like everything was, it was gated or things couldn't be dirty and everything was spick and span and my house looked like for years like, and I'm a notorious cleaner. Like I have a steam machine that goes into like the nooks and crannies. You know that about me. I am notorious for that. And so then it was like the cleaning, the house had to be immaculate. Fast forward now, you should see my walls, girl. Like I only had paintings before, like expensive paintings and artwork and all of that. And now nothing on my walls. All that's on my walls is my kids' pictures that they make at home or at school, and then I put them up with green painter's tape. So don't give a shit. Let them do what they want. I have scratches, all fingerprints and everything. I'm not at my kids for, oh, don't touch the walls. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Yes, is there a level of like, don't slam your cars into the baseboards, like put something there to cushion it? Sure. Right.
Yeah,
But for the most part, I, I have grown and learned that like we can let go. Why are we obsessing over all these details?
because it's
What
not
is the reason
living.
for
It's not
what?
really living.
Exactly. Exactly. Right.
It's you
And
controlling, still trying to control every little piece of every little thing in your life.
yes, yes. And Yeah, and maybe now I swing the other way a
because you
bit, like
have
I
no control over
declutter
yourself.
hard.
That's really what
I
it
do.
is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like I said, maybe swing the other way, like I declutter hard. But there's still a balance. But yeah, so it's just goes to speak to, what you were saying, that we do put a lot of this on ourselves.
Yeah.
And right? And maybe you don't know that yet. Maybe you don't know why you do what you do. You don't know why you get infuriated when, like, someone touches your wall with lotion on their hands. I know that's very specific.
I'm all, who did it? Who did it?
Oh, look at it. Who did it? Who touched it?
Put your fingers on the wall. Who matches?
I,
We're gonna fingerprint match right now.
I have a kit. I have a kit. No, I'm kidding. I don't have a kit.
Listen, I've already surrendered because we're in the process. I have next week off. I'm eating my hair right now. I have next week off, so we're in the process of like trying to declutter and clean because we're trying to get some of our floors redone. But I mean, a lot of our home looks messy right
Oh.
now because hi. Oh, they can't hear me.
Oh, I heard yelling and screaming, and now the little one. Are you okay? Okay, give me a second. Okay. Yep,
Okay.
go on.
Well, we just surrendered because we realized, you know what, we have little kids. My husband has had to surrender the most because he had this idea of our home looking like a model home. And I'm like, we have
Mm,
fucking little kids and we have three pets.
exactly.
Like you
Yeah.
gotta let that go. Like when they're older
Yes.
and they're bigger and we're starting to
Definitely.
transition into that. Like, will it be a little bit more realistic? Absolutely. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like we just have to wait it out. That's it.
Different season of life, right? If we can
Mhm.
understand that, accept it, it's okay. It will be okay. It may not look the way you want to right now, but it will, right?
Yep.
At some point, it will. One second. No, you can't turn off the lights. You can go. Yeah, you can lock the door. He doesn't want his brother to come in. They just got into a huge scrap, I heard. So we'll deal with
Oh,
that after. I told you the struggle is real. Like sometimes I
like
just let him,
nobody's
let him
bleeding.
be.
It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Different seasons of life. It's being aware. Sorry. Oh, Devin. Sorry,
Did you
Carmie.
knock it over?
He's about to.
Oh,
Yeah, so different seasons of life, self-awareness, understanding, acceptance, and it all comes with time. Just remember that, please. Our
and stop
tagline.
comparing. Stop fucking
Yeah,
comparing. You don't got to be
let
like
go of
anybody
the
else.
timeline and
Yes.
stop comparing, right? I know it's hard, and we will compare to a certain extent, always. That's human nature.
But don't let it consume you to where you think you
Yes.
have to be a certain way or
Yeah.
your journey or your progress has to be at that point too. Because everybody's
It's
progress is going to be different.
it's debilitating in
It
a sense,
is.
right? Like it
It
keeps
is.
it really is all
But
of
it
it, the
also, because when you
comparison, the
compare, you're not,
timeline.
when you're comparing though too, you're also not thinking about the context because like
Right.
some people could probably argue, well, Carmi, you've been at your journey for 5 years and so just posted that their results took 4 years, but that
Right.
lacks context. Does that person have little fucking kids? Does that person have a fucking full-time job? Is that person on hormone
Exactly.
replacement? Is
Single. Are
that
they
person
single?
how
Yeah.
long does that person work out in the gym? Because I got 45 minutes to 60 minutes a day. That's about all I
Yeah.
got. Like how
Yeah.
long do they
Yeah.
can they dedicate to it? So all of that shit matters. So when you're stuck in the comparison game, worried about what Becky down the block is doing, you're forgetting that there's context behind that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Period. I
So
mean,
fucking let go of that invisible
Devin.
load.
Sorry, guys. This guy's like turning off lights. My lighting here sucks, and he's just being, you know, he's going through some stuff. Devin, please don't do that.
That's okay.
Mama's almost done. Yeah. Real life, people. Real fucking life.
That's okay. I mean, I don't know. You'll probably hear it when you're editing the dog bumping the door and snorting
Oh.
at it because he probably wants to show me that he's all clean and bathed. Because I heard it. I heard boom. And I'm like, oh, God.
Okay, so there's a side note. See, that's one thing. Like I like pets, but I don't want them in my house because I know I couldn't deal with that level of like fur and having to like clean up after, um, because like certain ways I already hate my white tile and I find like hair and stuff. But
Oh,
again, right?
yeah.
And oh, yeah. And so, but that is my own thing. And I have a firm stance on having pets in my house. But that's okay. But that allows me then, because I know that would bring me a whole level of overwhelm that I know I can't deal with. Right.
Yes. Yes. You're not
So
willing to
there's
sacrifice your peace for everybody else in the house to have like the
wanting to have a,
happiness of a pet
yes.
because
Shut
it's just
up.
going to bring you
The happiness of a pet.
the
Let's just throw
happiness
that in
and
there.
joy of a pet because it's going to
Depriving
make
your
you
children.
full send crash out, even though you're depriving them of a childhood dream.
I know. Thanks, Carmi. Oh my
I'm
god.
just kidding,
I
you
know.
guys. I'm literally the weird pet lady. Like, I'm on the, you guys see my stories. I'm fucking on the
No, you're
floor with my
not.
dog.
It's
No, but I love it.
awesome.
I fucking love
I
it.
love
Like,
it.
they're my
Yeah,
babies.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I let them in my face. Like, the cat. They're just my babies. I can't. I've always been like that, though. I've always been a pet person. Like, Jeb says I'm super regulated because kids love me, pets love me too.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh my god,
neighbor,
same
the
here.
the neighbor, like they were like, "Oh, the dog's mean," and I'm like, "Oh, you're mean?" And then they were like, wiggle butt, and they're like, "Oh, the dog ran to you." I'm like, "Of course, the
Yeah.
fucking dog ran to me.
They
I'm
sense
his pit
it, right?
bull."
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
they
I
got spidey
yeah.
senses.
They do. They do. I think that's amazing. Okay, well, I think that we have, I don't know, we probably missed a lot of stuff that we wanted to talk about, but
No, but
we
this
got
was a good
lots of
girlfriend
time to do
hour. We
that.
took a three
I
week
know.
hiatus. We needed to catch up. But I mean, we
Yes.
this ultimately this episode, if anything, it should help validate you. Pieces of it or most of it should resonate with you, and most of it should just make you relax your shoulders, breathe, and
It's
understand
okay.
it's okay. See, boom.
Yes.
See, look at that.
Yes.
It's okay.
Damn, girl. we in sync.
We're so synced, it's crazy.
All right. Well, with that, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Please share, like, comment. If you think this can help
Subscribe to
someone,
YouTube. Pretty
subscribe.
please with the cherry on top. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And so until next time, bye.
Bye bye.